This is that one song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry. Yeah. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know. Yeah. Whoa. East Coast with that gang, gang. You know we don't play games, whoa. Hop up on that wagon, oh please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast, go ahead, stand up. Put that glass and hands up. Gang, 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 we fammed up. Got that change, we bagged up. Crew love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy, drip so sick, I'm queasy, whoa. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Love with the gang, gang. Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Hard time to
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Thought oppression, thin privilege, phobia, and perfectly healthy.
I feed them. What do you feed them?
Flesh!
Look at that big ass. Look at that big juicy booty.
Skinny privilege.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Full normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 22 Hundo and 77 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and y'all hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is sponsored by Everest and K2 flexing on all
fucking Catalina.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
What's going on, fam? Welcome to Ask Papa Swolio Live. You can get your questions going in the comments down below. Use the hashtag AskPapaSwolio. We are just taking pure questions today, so let's get right into today's episode. All the links that you need are in the show notes down below for joining the Swole fam over at swolenormousx.com and all the live stream links. Let's fucking go. Let's summon the Falcon and bust this nut wide open. Beaches, here we go. Falcon. Voice of an angel. Nailed it. Let's go. Oh yeah, red, white, and swole, baby, for a chance to win today's swole card. Leo, drinking like a fucking fish. My goodness, put the booze down. Put it down. Put it down. Come on, it's Ask Papa Swolio Live. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right. Drop those questions in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Let's get another sound. Yeah, there we go. A little more soundboard action. Beautiful. We got some Tainty Boy, a little Tainty Reprieve. Good boy. He's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good poppers. He's a very good boy. He's a very good boy. All right, Rufus in tow, and the Swole fam is here. What's up, T-Cap, Amanda, Tejas? How we doing? Cerny, let's see, Saint Celestine, Nick, how we doing? Let's see, what else we got here? Andres, Lacey, Wild Shallot, Terry, Brian, Keith, the whole Swole fam's here. Excellent. Happy Sunday, everyone. All right. Before we get into the first question, reminder, tomorrow's episode is private for members only. You could join over at swolenormousx.com. All these private live streams are included with all memberships. Accountability meeting tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Be there or be a fucking jabroni. Nothing beats a Swole fam accountability meeting. I will see you there 12 noon Eastern time. All right, let's get into the first question. Wild Shallot, Papa Swolio, why my calves are a bitch to grow? Because you haven't hacked them yet. You haven't figured out what grows them yet. You haven't done it right. I don't know what you're doing for them. There are some genetics involved with it, but I would recommend doing donkey calf raises. I would recommend really working on your stretching for your soleus and your gastrocnemius. I would make sure you're holding that stretch. Focus more on the stretch than the weight. Open those bitches up. Make sure you're activating your anterior tibialis. You're working the front of your leg as well as the calf region. So some great exercises. You could do some deep, make sure you're getting the, seated calf raises. Make sure you're doing it. You could do it hanging off a wall or holding onto a bar in order to get up on your tippy toes. Try donkey calf raises. We have that kind of stuff inside Swolenormous X. We have a lot of content coming for how to activate those things at home, but make sure you're working on that stretch. Hold at the bottom. Hold for a couple seconds at the bottom. Get that full stretch. Get that whole fucking stretch. T-Cap, I made it to the swole parts of the 90-day dash. Is this similar to swole season I've been hearing about? I'll have to check it out for myself after the stream. I would recommend checking it out. It's a lot more of that vein. It's a lot more down that road. Swole season is designed for bulking. It's designed for hypertrophy. The 90-day dash covers a bunch of different phases, including hypertrophy, including muscular endurance and things like that. So that is a little bit of a blend. And it's a great on-ramp program, which is why most people start with the 90-day dash. But then, of course, swole season is focused on primarily hypertrophy, making those sick fucking guys. Yeah, welcome, Gypsy. Megan, all right, remember, keep on dropping those questions. We have some from Instagram too, but just keep on filtering them in. I will opt for live questions whenever possible. Megan, what magnesium do you recommend to take for overall health? I've heard that many people are deficient in it, but I don't know which magnesium to take. There's so many different ones out there. Different ones do different things. I would recommend, if you're like, what are you dealing with? Not everyone has magnesium deficiencies, but I would say most people do, because most people just have most people are deficient in everything. They're deficient in sunlight. They're deficient in all 7 pillars. They're deficient in exercise. They're deficient in meditation. People just deficient because they just don't take care of their health. So getting in more organ meats will help you with those types of deficiencies, but also you need proper ratios of these minerals as well. So it's not just magnesium. You want to get a nice blend. So you can get an electrolyte supplement. Magnesium malate is great for muscles. It's great for a component in electrolytes, but also you could use a magnesium oil spray if you're dealing with muscle cramping. Some people like the Calm product, but you can definitely have the poopies if you take too much of that, because magnesium, I think it's magnesium citrate that can cause some digestive issues, but things like magnesium oil spray won't give you that because it just absorbs into the skin and you're not going to OD on it or anything like that. Also, magnesium threonate is said to be good for sleep. So if you want to aid in sleep, but again, if you're trying to work on improvements for sleep, it's more important that you work on your habits rather than just supplement for sleep, even if it's just magnesium. And it seems like, no, that's not really a big deal, taking magnesium. It's not like you're taking melatonin, you're going to fuck yourself up. But taking something like magnesium threonate could be beneficial because it crosses, I believe it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So I would check that out. Good stuff. I would make sure you're focusing on getting more organ meats in too. Yeah. A good electrolyte supplement will have sodium, potassium, magnesium in there. And there's different, like I said, there's different compounds. So there are lists. If you look online, if you Google, and it'll say which one is better for which things. There's certain ones that are better for things like muscle cramping, but definitely a good idea to look into magnesium. It's a very common thing that, like you mentioned, to be deficient in. Brian, what are your thoughts on chia seeds? Worth having some daily? I don't think it's worth having some daily, personally. I don't eat chia seeds. Why would I eat seeds? I'm not a bird. Call it bird food. Not for me. Let's see. Terry, do you believe most people have cognitive dissonance with healthy and unhealthy food? In the sense that, I know it's probably a typo, dissonance, but do you mean people eat junk food and pretend like they don't know that it's junk food? I think some people are just completely ignorant to all of it. And I think most people that have a functioning brain and a triple digit IQ know that they're eating shitty food. They're just addicted to it. They're addicted to their habits. They feel like they could put these things off, like it's not going to affect them because it's not causing them maybe damage in the moment. They're getting that kind of, instant gratification. Most people will put off delayed gratification for instant gratification. Most people do that anyway. People want a quick fix. People want to, how do I get a 6-figure business working from home or without doing anything? People want passive income. No income is passive. Nothing is fucking passive. It takes a lot of fucking work. So there's a lot of bullshit out there. People want the results without putting in the work. So a lot of, it's much easier to pretend like it's not bothering you that much, or it's not for you, or it's not that big of a deal, or you only live once, or everything in moderation. A lot of people say that as an excuse to justify the terrible habits that they know that they have and the poor choices that they consistently make, to justify continuing making them. If that's the way in which you mean it. Tejas, what's your opinion on Andrew Tate's Hustlers University? I know nothing about what he does aside from I see him on social media now and again. I don't know anything about it. Nick, I had my mace belt and steel clubs and my chain dip belt in my bag. Someone attempted to walk off with my bag yesterday. LMAO? No, that's not a laughing my ass off. That's a what the fuck are you doing with my shit? Although I don't blame them, right? I don't blame them trying to take steel clubs and a mace belt. Fucking, that's a score, bro. That's a score. Yeah, magnesium glycinate is good for electrolytes, and it's also good for sleep and stuff like that too. Yeah, there's a lot of different types. My recommendation is to try those that are really more acceptable for muscle recovery and sleep and stuff like that, and then see how you feel. I would just be careful. You just don't want to take too much of certain types because it can cause digestive issues. Like that Calm. It's called Calm. I don't use it anymore, but I used to, and that could definitely cause loose stool. But it could also be beneficial if you're having digestive issues. But if you're having constipation, the answer is not to take magnesium. The answer is to figure out what the fuck you're eating or what you're doing, because that's coming from other things. You could be dehydrated and all these other things. Oh, Megan, I deal with muscle cramps at night. I do eat liver. It might not be enough, what you're eating. You might not be eating that much liver as you think, but muscle cramps at night, it's dehydration, and likely it could be magnesium. So magnesium oil spray is really good. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate. That can be a game changer. Taking magnesium for muscle cramps, it'll be a game changer for you. Also, if you do an Epsom salt bath, Epsom salt is magnesium. I forget what kind, but it's magnesium. Let's see. Tyler, I took too much honey yesterday and got the shits. Does honey have some kind of laxative in it that causes shits? Not that I'm aware of. What kind of honey are you eating? You should only eat raw honey. So I don't know what kind of honey. Not that I'm aware of. I've never gotten honey shits. I've never gotten honey shits. Keith, Papa Swolio had some sugar yesterday, and now I feel a huge hangover. Crazy how you don't notice until you eat healthy. I assume feeling exhausted after not having it for 3 months is normal. Yeah, it's poison. It's poison. And when you say you had some sugar, what does that mean? A lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, it's not poison. Sugar, isn't it? You found it and blah, blah, blah. No, sugar in the context of fruit, of actual food. But if you're eating processed sugar, yeah, that's ultra processed, and it's not good to eat. When you get rid of it, then you notice how terrible it is. So yeah, it's normal to have autoimmune reactions and inflammation and those kinds of responses if you don't have it for a while. Some people have sugar like that and they'll get a migraine like almost immediately. Wild shallot, Papa Swolio, which is a better protein source, chicken or beef? Beef, 1,000 million %. All right. Let's see. Make sure when you're using the hashtag Ask Papa Swole, you have a question. Let's try to keep them questions. Don't just do that so I see the comment. If you have a question, make sure you use that hashtag. Otherwise, just type. James, Papa Swolio, woke up this morning, sore on my left lower back, tried some stretching, helped a bit. What yoga class would you recommend? I don't have a specific recommendation. Go check out some of the twist ones. There's so many. Which class? There's like over 250 in the studio, so I don't have an exact one for you, but I would check out the ones for back. They're all for everything. Sometimes they'll say wrists or it'll say hamstrings. You're still it's still involved. Everything's connected. So I would look at any of the yoga classes that deal with hips, because hips obviously direct the lower back. So I would just check out anything with hips. Honey shits. Honey shits. Honey shits. I've never heard of that. I guess if you have so much honey, well, think about it. You're going to shit what you eat. Your body's going to utilize it. So I guess after you've utilized you eat too much honey, you're going to shit honey, I suppose. I suppose how much honey do you have to eat to get honey shits, dude? God, how much honey do you have to consume? You say you took too much honey. You mean you ate? I've never gotten to the shit part. Dropsets.db. Nice. What's the wisdom of the day? Go to the fucking gym. Yow. Yow. Easy peasy. That was easy. Nick, what would you recommend for inner ear cleaning? Does Mama Swolio have any insight on it? I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of like water cleaning you can do. They have those little things you can put in your ear that twists. Obviously, Q-tips are a terrible idea for ear cleaning. I don't know. I don't have actually any recommendations. There's probably something with like warm water that you can flush things out. They do that if you have like earwax or you have like an earplug that you put in, like a wax earplug, and it's too small and it gets in your ear. They kind of flush it out. Maybe there's some kind of like ear flush you can get on Amazon. Have you searched for it? It's a good question. I don't think we've gotten that question before. I don't think Mama Swolio knows about that. I've never heard her mention it. Inner ear cleaning. I mean, usually you don't want to use a Q-tip because you just pack the shit in there, but they do have these little like twist things that like kind of screw into the wax, like if you put in your ear, so you can go deeper and then you just pull it out. But at the same time, just using a warm washcloth and just cleaning around the outside of your ear, you don't have to get in there. You don't have to like fucking... You had 8 tablespoons? What kind of honey are you eating? Make sure you're eating raw honey. Otherwise, you're just getting processed honey. You're not getting the benefits. Amazon has them. Yeah, I'm sure Amazon has everything. They'll have like the neti pots for the, for the schnoz and for all those things. All right. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio for a chance to win today's Swole card. Good question so far. We're on a roll. Let's go. Tainty Man. Aww. And a little red, white, and swole. Hashtag RWS for a chance to win today's Swole card. There's a little Tainty reprieve. He's sleeping. Excellent. Saying, Papa Swolio, I've read calcium and magnesium together can lead to constipation and other stomach problems, and it might make both supplements less effective. Interesting. And what is your meat to fruit ratio in your day? I'm still in the experimentation stage when I'm trying to figure out how much meat versus fruit is optimal for me. I don't keep a ratio. I'm not like weighing it or like, I'm 2 to 1. I try to get most of my food from the beef, protein, fat, and then I'll usually have some honey and stuff around when I'm working out. But my meal is going to be primarily, and I'm eating that first. I'm not eating fruit and rice and other shit. Like I really am not eating rice or potatoes or stuff or anything like that, the starches anymore. So just make sure you're filling yourself up with those nutrient dense foods, and then you can, spackle with the fruit. I'm not like quantifying it in that sense though. But when I go to work out, so after this, I'm going to go work out after this today. And I'm going to be, spooning some honey, and dates are fantastic too. So, but with these foods that I consume, or bananas or things like that, I don't quantify, I don't measure like, oh, I can only have this many. I just eat to my heart's content. But usually when I'm getting a lot of sun, when I'm sweating a lot, losing a lot of fluids, I'll have more longer days, summer days, I'll eat more fruit. And then, but make sure your meals, you focus on the protein and the fats first. That way you're not getting filled up on other things. But I don't have a ratio in per se. I'm not keeping track of how much I'm consuming. Yeah, raw honey is great. It just tastes better. Dates are excellent too. Wild. Papa Swolio, I have that part of my arm between my biceps and forearm. It's like a hole. How can I fix this? Wait, what? What are you talking about?
What the fuck is that?
It's like a hole? Bro, if you have a hole in your arm, you need to go to the doctor, and you need to go like the emergency room. I'm sure that's not what is actually going on. You're going to have to tell me what the fuck is going on with your holy arm there. Rob himself. I wonder what your name is. I've been looking for some natural non-GMO cloths. I was trying to start with underwear, but no dice. Any companies you know of? Awesome content, my friend. You are a fucking legend. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it.
He's heating up!
We're on fire. A little brotherly love here. Non-GMO cloths. Well, I definitely opt for, I've been, buying, I've been like clearing out a lot of my stuff, like try to avoid polyester and nylon and things like that. I have a whole set of all these like, just cotton shorts. The problem is when you get things like underwear, pretty much any underwear, even if it's cotton, you're going to have some spandex or some kind of elastic because you have like the actual waistband. So it's hard. And plus cotton, not all cotton is created equal. You can still have toxicity and VOCs and stuff because all this stuff is made in China because nothing's made in the fucking United States anymore. And unless you're wearing some like vegan hemp, like burlap sack clothing, which is, like essentially wearing a loincloth because, most of their materials are made with these artificial materials, but I would just opt for 100% cotton. So, yeah, I mean, you could find 100%, but of course, if you get like, because I have a bunch of like certain situations, I'll have like briefs, but it's like Tommy Hilfiger, and of course the waistband's elastic, but then you have 100% cotton. Is it non-GMO? Is it organic? No. But at the same time, you wash it a few times and do the best that you can, but don't wear polyester or spandex and shit like that. Nick, look at that. Give that tainty boy a treat for being such a good boy. I actually don't have the treats in here. I don't have the treats in here. So I'm going to give myself a treat. No, I'll give him a treat. I'll give him a treat for you, Nick. I actually didn't bring the treats in here today. He's being a good boy, though. Let's do that. Nick is summoning the tainty boy on the screen. Very nice. Very nice, tainty man. He's a good boy. Look at that big old paw. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. All right, I'll remember that. I'll give him a treat today for you. I'll be like, it's from Nick. It's from Nick. Okay, let's see here. He's probably talking about the bend in the elbow. I mean, that's not a hole. That's called your elbow. A hole in my arm. We'll have to get into that a little bit more. The brachialis or whatever it is. The brachialis on the side of the arm. You have a hole? Come on. I need some help. You got to help me out. I can't help me help you. I need some help with these questions sometimes. I want to. I want to give you some insight if I have. Buddha Smith, President Papa. Not yet. 2024. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Making America swole.
Fuck yeah!
Have you ever thought about putting together a travel guide to help stay on point? Though I did a good job planning and found out I missed some things, a guide would have helped. A travel guide? What, you mean strategies? We have a lot of that stuff, meal prep and stuff like that in the kitchen section. Have I thought about putting together a travel guide? I have not. We just put all that stuff in the kitchen, like preparations or things like that. How else do you mean? Like where to go? Because that's depends on the region, like different strategies. We have a lot of stuff in the kitchen, but maybe we'll put some more content out like that, master classes, things like that. But happy to answer any questions if you have in particular. Appreciate the input. Always interested in, different things that we can add and create. Let's see. Amar Sweeney, walking loads and swimming loads. Any other tips on toning legs? Yeah, lifting weights. Lifting weights. Walking and swimming, that ain't gonna build you muscular legs. I mean, you're gonna build some, development, which is great. Swimming is great, walking is great, but you want to get toned legs. Toned legs means building muscle, so that means lifting weights. All right, let's see. Pops, do you have any kind of neck conditioning or strength routine that I do? Not in particular. I mean, kettlebell stuff. You could do neck exercises. You could do isometrics and different things. There's different pieces of equipment, but I don't do a ton of neck training per se. But I think it's beneficial. I just don't do a ton of it at this point. I would start with those standard like body weight exercises, like on your back with your neck for extensions. A lot of times people have way too much extension in their neck. So what I would recommend is a great therapeutic exercise is with it's going to be hard to explain, but you keep your body on all fours, knees, hands, tabletop position, and your head is against one of those Swiss balls, inflatable balls against the wall. And all you do is you push your tongue to the roof of your mouth, which you should be doing. Pushing your tongue up to the roof of your mouth will contract the muscles in your tongue in the front of your neck and the cervical retractors. And the cervical flexors, which is what you want. Most people have forward head. They have excessive protraction and also extension of the neck. So pushing your tongue to the roof of your mouth will allow you to, and you'll notice that if you're trying to pull your neck back, push your tongue to the roof of your mouth, it'll allow you to activate all these muscles here. So that's always important. Papa Swolio, when are you coming up to Canada to bitch slap Trudeau? Do I need to? He's already a bitch slap for a bitch. Circa Ari from Entourage. A bitch slap for a bitch. Oh my God. Yeah, he's a bitch. He's a bitch. San, in what ways do you spoil or treat yourself on your birthday or other special occasions? Birthday is coming up next week. I'm just going to do another day. I'm just going to eat some steak. Fucking pretty much what I'll normally do. I'm not going to spoil. I feel like I already spoil myself. I mean, I do what I want to do. And I try to make sure I do the things that I want to do. So it's interesting when someone asks me that question, how am I going to treat myself or spoil myself? I mean, I'm going to eat a big old fucking steak. I'm going to enjoy my day with Mama Swolio. That's all I want. That's all I want. Amir, thanks. I will take a look into weights. Yes, take a look into it. That's a standard. Everyone should be lifting weights. I'm going to be an old man. I'm going to be an old man in a week. Tyler, do you know anything that will help razor bumps? Got it when I trimmed my beard on upper lip. Yeah, do I look like I shave? You can use, like when you shave, you can use some alcohol and something like that to close the pores up so they don't get infected. A lot of times that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, if you're shaving or you're trimming, one thing is for sure, a lot of people don't sterilize. They don't clean their razor blades. They don't take new ones. Like, you need to keep those things clean because there's bacteria on them. So when you are cutting the hair, first you have to like warm the beard. Or I mean, I don't do it myself, but I just got cleaned up the other day. But you need to make sure that you know what you're doing. So you can cause irritation physically, but also if your blades aren't clean and you're not hygienic with it, you open up the pores. You're opening up a lot of the pores and bacteria will get in. And they'll cause like little infections and little inflammation and bumps and things like that. So it could be a couple different things. Mama Swolio will know a lot better. Ask in the Swole Norma's Beauty chat. She'll be able to give you like some products or ideas or certain things. But last time when I went there, the one that does my beard and hair, like I got a nasty rash on the back of my neck because I guess she used some sort of whatever after she was like shaving my neck, and it was burning like crazy. I had like a little rash. So this time she just used alcohol and I was fine. So I had some kind of reaction to whatever she put on me the last time. I agree. Jeremy, best tip for shaving, don't shave. Like what? Don't, hey, I appreciate the question, but you're asking me. You're asking me about, hey, what should I do to shave? Do I look like I fucking shave, son? Do I look like I fucking shave? Come on. You so look like a Leo. I'm 8/10. Oh, August 10th? Our hair gives it away. Yeah, I mean, I guess I couldn't look more like a Leo if I tried, I suppose. Let's see. Swole 3PO. I tore my right medial meniscus 2 years ago, and I just found out I have the same injury to the left knee. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Heard backward sled is a rehab exercise for that to avoid surgery. Agree? Yes. I absolutely 1,000% agree. I did some damage to my, I guess it was my meniscus. I don't know if it was my MCL or my meniscus when I was doing some deep weighted work like a year or two ago. And the inflammation was pretty nasty. That's why I think it wasn't my meniscus. You don't get the same, I guess you do get some inflammation, but usually when it's a ligament, you get some swelling. My knee was really swollen. So I let the swelling go down. I did a lot of rehab work. It took me a while, but then boom, completely 100%, feels fantastic. So backward sled is a standard. I do it pretty much every single day. And I mean, pretty much every single day. So if it's an upper body workout, I'll do reverse sled. It's just a great warm up. So I'll do reverse sled, and usually even for lower body, I'll do some steel club. Now, I do it frequently. I do sled and I do steel club, these things frequently. And steel club is one of the best things for your elbow and for your joints and for your forearm. It's just great for conditioning. You don't have to go super heavy, these coats of paint. And this is how I, have fixed some like elbow tendonitis, like triceps tendonitis from things like, I remember like a year or two ago, I was doing mace bell, one arm, and I went too heavy and I kind of slipped in one movement. I kind of remember what it was now. And it really fucked up my elbow for a few months. But I really went hardcore stretching, lengthening, and steel club really helped regenerate. I'm just using like colloquially, like regenerate the cartilage and get blood flow and ligaments and all those deep connective tissues, because they don't get good blood flow. Ligaments get poor blood flow. So does cartilage in your joints. So it takes them a long time to recover. And they're so structurally fundamental to those joints that if they're not 100%, you're going to have problems. So doing the steel club was great, but I don't always go heavy. So yesterday I went up to 15 pounds, and that's really that's like the most I do, 15, maybe 20 pounds. I'm not doing like super heavy club. I just do more. I build it up slowly. So now when I do, I'll do 15 pounder more often, but I just do like a few reps and circles each arm and just kind of give that coats and just keep on building slowly. But I'll do the 5 pounder and the 10 pounder regularly. So even for lower body, I'll warm up my joints, because even if you're doing squats or other exercise, you're using your elbows. Warm up all parts of your body. Do some dead hangs, do some scapular depressions, maybe some pull-ups, some push-ups, do a little steel club work, do some reverse sled, do some bends, do some rotations, for your lower body, some Jefferson curls. Open up your joints a little bit, and then boom, you're good to go. So even for lower body, I'll warm up my lower body. Plus, I'm outside. It's beautiful. Like where I train and how I train, I warm up my upper body too. I'm not crushing it. I'm not doing like heavy fucking work, but it's great to get your blood pumping and get your heart rate up and all that. And we'll get a Swole 3PO shirt real soon. Let's see. Wild Shallot. Good questions today. Papa Swolio. Best, fastest way to relieve shoulder injury pain. Depends on what the shoulder injury is. Dead hangs are great. Steel club is great. External rotations are fantastic. So it depends on what the injury is. Very important as to what the injury is. Incoming Matt Damon. Oh.
Matt Damon.
Saiyan Zero. Papa Swolio, do you do massages and or chiropractic care? Also, your opinion on gua sha, the removal of stagnant blood in muscles from years of teardown. Not familiar with that, so I can't speak on it. Do I do massages? I like massages. I don't do them. I went through a couple periods where I did them regularly, but I haven't actually done a lot of foam rolling lately either, but sometimes I do. I'll do like stretching. I do a lot more mobility work than I do foam rolling. It's definitely beneficial. It's good. But I will be honest, I used to do a ton of foam rolling. A ton of that kind of stuff by working on mobility. And mobility is not just stretching. It's not just yoga or swolga. It's under load. I feel so much better doing mobility and doing like strength mobility work rather than doing just standard stretching or yoga. Like in addition to all that, it's fantastic, but I don't do massages. I haven't done a lot of foam rolling in a while. I mean, it would definitely, I'd feel it, but the lengthening and taking these muscles through a full range of motion under load is much more important. Combining them is great too, but a lot of people miss out on that part. They're trying to relax, and when you're foam rolling, a lot of times you relax the muscle, you inhibit the muscle tissue, but if you're not creating strength around the joint, it's just going to go back to the way it was. So you're going to release, you're going to foam roll your calves a little bit. Cool. If you're not lengthening your soleus, you're lengthening your Achilles tendon, and the insertion points of triceps surae for the gastrocnemius and the soleus. If you're not lengthening that tendon, and it takes a lot of time, strengthening the soleus through a full range of motion, full stretch, make sure you're getting those holes at the deep bottom for a second or two when you're doing calf raises and seated calf raises. And strengthening your anterior tibialis and strengthening all sides of the joint, the muscle's just going to get tight again. So you're just going to foam roll, it's going to relax a little bit, it's going to get tight again. And your foam roll, relax, it's going to go right back because you're not creating balance, a strength balance around the joint. So it's going to kind of like rebound right back. So make sure you're making progress with the mobility, and then of course foam rolling could maybe aid in it and give you some temporary relief. Let's see here. Lacey, don't Matt Damon me? I will, just because you said so.
Matt Damon.
Can you give an example of mobility under load? Sure. Full range of motion under load, like full range of motion. So if we're doing, let's say, chest, you're doing flies, we're talking like grabbing 5s or 10s and going all the way back and like really hanging your arms back and then all the way forward. Or if you're doing side lying for posterior deltoid or with a band or with a cable, and like you're doing a posterior deltoid like this one's going to back up, and you're going across the body, like all the way across, not just like, like on a pec deck machine, which that movement pretty much sucks, all the way over, or doing a Jefferson curl, full stretch under load. So it doesn't mean really heavy, but I'm telling you, if you build up because that gets really into the ligaments, that gets into the real full stretch in the tendons. Of course, you have to go very, very light at first. And as you build up to it, of course, you'll gain strength. But that is when you build strength with mobility. When you build strength in your muscles, tendons, ligaments through a full range of motion, your strength for like the standard lifts like bench press or squat or deadlift will fucking skyrocket. Your strength and your freedom to get into all those movements and your ability through that ideal strength portion of your biomechanics, like you'll be able to improve dramatically. It solves those weak points. What's your opinion on fapping? You mean jerking off? Is it healthy in a way? And how long did it take you to get this swole body? I don't like those questions because I think they're stupid. The swole body. How long did it take you? I don't know. I've been training for over 20 years. So, like, how long? It's not like, I got the swole body, let me just maintain it. I'm not trying to gain. You're not going to gain linearly. You're not just going to keep on gaining muscle, nor do I want to, because it's not healthy just to have too much extra muscle mass. So this is about like where I feel the best. Now it's just more like shape, definition, but it's more like for health and for wellness. I'm not trying to be 220 or 230. It's not good for you. It wouldn't be good for me at my height. Fapping, you mean beating off or having sex? Jeremy, are kettlebell halos similar to or a decent replacement for the mace belt until I can get one? It's an interesting question. It's very different, but kettlebell halos are fine. They're good. Similar, I would say, in some aspects. Obviously, you don't have the same torque. You don't have the same type of grip strength requirement. I mean, I guess it depends on how heavy you're going. As long as if you're really strict with it, it's a similar motion that you're opening up your shoulder. So I would definitely, I would give that a go. I would call it this exactly what you said, similar to or a decent replacement. Yeah, it's obviously a different movement. It's much easier to do a kettlebell halo than it is a mace bell. But at the same time, mace bell's not that hard once you learn it. So it's a technique. But of course, if you go a certain weight with halos, that can be very challenging. Just make sure you're going strict, right? So you don't want to go like people do kettlebell halos, or like it's like no. Be intentful with it. Like really take your, come around and make sure you're not pulling over your head. Make sure you go really all the way around. That could be really nasty. So yeah, keep your core tight, stomach pulled in. Tyler, how do I make sure I'm getting a proper warm-up? It's a good question. Make sure you're doing your general warm-up, your more specific warm-up. You'll see when you're training, when you get to your working sets, do you feel like you're performing better? I mean, how do you make sure? By trying different things and seeing what helps you perform your best. You want to make sure you're preparing a warm-up is just preparing your body and those muscles that you're going to train harder for that harder training. So can I just load up the bar and be like, okay, done with the man cast, go out there and just get under there and put like all this weight on the bar? Yeah, but I'm going to probably hurt myself because my body is not ready for that kind of activity or that kind of overload. The Swole Hub. The Swole Hub. Jason Trinder, when you talk about sweet potatoes, is it sweet potatoes or yams? Whatever you have access to, see what works best for you. I used to eat a lot of sweet potatoes or yams. Like I used to eat a lot of those. I don't anymore. I haven't had sweet potatoes in a couple months. I feel fine without them, so I just haven't desired them or gone back to them. I might try it once in a while. James, anything worse than overcooked steak? I don't think so. Had dinner at the in-laws and I wanted to cry. Ooh, a Matt Damon for my father's...
Matt Damon.
Oh my God, for my father-in-law's barbecue skills.
I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
No, that's criminal. You probably... I think if you overcook a steak, like, it's abuse. It's abuse. You probably should be locked up. I think like overnight in like county, if you overcook a steak, that should be a crime. It should be a crime. Let's see. All right. Vinayak 242007. At what age did you started at the gym? And like how much time does it actually take to see a visible six-pack? All right.
Matt Damon.
I'm ejecting that question. How long? I don't know. It depends on how much fat and how fucking lazy you are. Not everyone's destined to have like a shredded six-pack. That takes a lot of work. People say like, oh, how long does it take to get a six-pack? You're talking about a lot of fucking effort to get to that visual. Six-pack's not required. To see it, you have the muscles. It's not required to be healthy. How much time does it actually take? I don't know. Anyone that's listening to this podcast, if you're going to ask a question like, how long does it take? Fuck you. Probably forever if you're asking a question like that. How long does it take? I don't know. How much effort are you going to put in? Like what are you going to do? Like how consistent are you going to be? Where are you starting from? I don't know how long. How long does it take for me to walk from A to B? Forever if you never leave. So I don't know. Sheesh. Matt the Great, the only thing worse than overcooked steak is communism. I don't know if there's a difference, actually. Papa Swolio, warm pink center or still bleeding? I like my steak to have an active Instagram account. All right, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Anthony, Papa Swolio from the Daily Swole Telegram chat. I came home from working all week on the road. My 16-year-old son had the barbell out loaded with weights. I asked him, what the fuck? He said, I was doing deadlifts. I asked where he learned to do deadlifts. He said they teach it at school. I asked, what else did you do? He said nothing. I told him that we will work on some other methods other than deadlifts. What are your thoughts on this? Start him on the 90-day dash, or do you suggest anything else? First off, kudos for the school teaching deadlifts. I mean, I think there's other great exercises to be taught, but that's a great foundational. Pick things off the ground. Nothing wrong with that. Impressive. Hopefully they taught it well at school, but that's fucking great. Do I suggest anything else? Yoga? Absolutely. The thing is, at 16 years old, he's probably going to be like, yoga, fantastic. You might also want to get him involved with some steel mace bell or some steel club. That's fucking gangster. 16-year-old fucking swinging a club. That's some cool shit. But 90 Day Dash is a great program. It's a great starter program for weightlifting and stuff too. Well, I don't want to give it to it. Swole 3. Wait, you're making me my own shirt? Well, no, I have a lot of designs. Swole 3PO has been something that's been sitting on the list for a long time. You gave me that nickname when I joined because I said I was Triple P. Oh yeah, fat fuck. Yes, Swole 3PO. Yeah, we'll make a shirt. We'll make a shirt. I have a master list, like a Google Doc, with like tons and tons of shirts, like tons of designs, and all the ones that you've seen, like they're just on the queue. They're just next. There's so many designs. I can't even tell you. You guys would crack up if I read them all to you. You'll see. You'll see. My steak has a temporary ban on TikTok. Iraq Lobster 6062. If I had $1 every time you went to the gym, how much money would I have? You wouldn't have dollars. You would have Satoshis. So you'd be a very, very wealthy man. Very wealthy man. Let's fucking go. Fuck yeah! Because it's because, you know, the money that you would be getting is only volatile to the upside. So you're welcome. Fights inflation too. So me going to the gym makes you a reach beesh. Nick, will P3S4 be colored like P3S3? I really love the red and black, to be honest. You will know when it arrives. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't mean it won't come back. Doesn't mean it won't come back. You never know. You never know. You never know. Why are you asking a question about P3S4? You're never going to know what it is until it shows up on your doorstep. By the way, 23 fucking days until P3S4. Yeah. The 4th release of the Signature Series. How dare you? How dare you ask?
How dare you?
I'm not going to get any. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to look like. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Say an American topic, as it should be. Let's go. America. Another one. Another one. Another one. Did you hear about the PE teacher teaching kids marksmanship, how to hunt and dress animals? He calls it fighting the woke. It sounds like how to be a human being and functioning human being, survival. That's fucking great. That's excellent. Where is that located? I bet you it's not in Chicago, LA, New York City, Portland, Atlanta. Bet you it's not any of those cities. It's like somewhere in fucking North Dakota. All right. Let's see here. A couple more. Make them unicorn jizz colored. That's a good idea. Wild. How much time do you spend swinging that club? What, overall? In one session? Not too long. You do club work for more than like 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending. It could be like New Hampshire or something like that. It was Kentucky or Tennessee. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see. Dwayne 111. Favorite shoulder workout? Ugh. Favorite shoulder workout. My recommendation is, depending on how your split is, you split up whether you're doing some anterior deltoid stuff, middle deltoid, or posterior deltoid work. I would recommend that you focus most of if you're doing shoulders, do your posterior deltoid stuff first. Most people have dramatically underdeveloped posterior deltoids, and it makes physiques look like shit, and it sacrifices strength and joint integrity. So make sure you're focusing on that posterior deltoid. Little Charms. Charmes. Papa Swolio, how do I get as strong as you, man? Those are nice muscles. Got any tips? Yeah, download your copy of the 7 Pillars over at swolenormousx.com. Join the fam. Do all the programming that we all do inside Swolenormous X. And put your health and your fitness at the top of your list for 20 plus years. So let's fucking go. Now, whenever I say that, it doesn't mean that if you want to build the same amount of muscle that I have, that's going to take you exactly. I had this muscle. If I show, I have maybe some clips here and again that I find from like 2006 and 7. I was deadlifting 400 plus pounds and I was strong and muscle. But over time, you build that muscle maturity and that definition, that shape more and more. So you're not, people think it's linear. It's not like you just keep on growing. If I just grew it endlessly, I'd be like 400 pounds of muscle. But you have to build the amount of muscle for your frame. You maximize strength, mobility, muscle shape, and balancing out my body is much more important than how much I lift or putting on more muscle in that sense. I'm all for putting on more muscle in those weaker points, but it's more about strength and mobility through those ranges. And it just so happens that when you work on those things, you can also build muscle. But I think aesthetics are very important because a lot of times aesthetics or not having proper muscle balance from a visual standpoint maps to where you have imbalances strength wise. So I think they can go hand in hand. I think when you're building strength and mobility, I think aesthetically you should have proportions. Like you're not going to have proper mobility if you have like one jacked upper body and really like stick legs. That's not proper. That's not going to balance out properly. So you need to make sure you have like those aspects of it, proper proportions makes a big difference too. Andres, is it true that PE is not compulsory in some states? I mean, some schools don't have PE. Yeah, there's a lot of problems in our education system. Primarily, the lack of education in our education system. So, it's pretty dog shit in my opinion. Tyler, have you ever heard of a durian fruit? I have. It's like a big stinky fruit or something like that. I've never had it. Yeah, it's supposedly the world's smelliest fruit. I don't know if I can eat a fruit that smells and tastes like a beer factory. I don't know. I've never had it. This is what vegans eat that shit. So, you want to look like a vegan, go eat that. Do pike push-ups target the side delt? I mean, you're always working all parts of the shoulder, but not primarily. It'd be more anterior deltoid. Emphasis Productions, Papa Swolio, calisthenics or weight training for strength building? Does having full for strength building? Weight training. I mean, body weight is just resistance training. You just can overload the muscles more with weights and kettlebells and bands and stuff like that. Absolutely add weights. Don't just do body weight exercises. Do weights. Very important. I'm glad to hear it. Jason, my wife and I are new Swole fan members. There's a lot of good information. Take a step in the right direction and join. I agree. Thank you, Jason. Welcome to the fam. Welcome. Cerny, have you ever cooked a ribeye on a grill? Do you not like to cook on a grill? It's just easier for me to cook on a cast iron pan. It's just easier. I don't want to go cleaning a grill and setting it. It's delicious. I like efficiency and I've mastered my cooking on a cast iron. I prefer that. I don't like the taste of, also, you don't want to be eating char and shit like that. It's really not good for you. So you have to make sure that you take care of all that if you're cooking in that fashion. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone has their preference, but I prefer, it's just easier. We have one of those, it's sitting outside. It has like rust on it. We got one of those like Blackstone flat cast iron top, like skillet things. We just never used it. I've never used it. Maybe we'll use it sometime. We had it since we moved in and just hasn't been used once. I think it's called Blackstone. It's one of those things. Let's see. Darren Papa from the Telegram chat. Go to the gym in the morning, and then the wife and I do evening workouts with sled, clubs, and mace. All right. I've got a Rogue rack that I use to do yoke carries. Worth adding to evening workouts or not worth compression on old ass spines? We are late 40s. Thanks. That you should be doing yoke carries? Well, one of the most important things to do is weight-bearing exercises on the spine. You can do yoke. I would be careful with that. Make sure that you're doing it on a surface that's not going to have divots or dips or something like that, because you can definitely fuck up your back, compress your discs, and and chop and do shit in that. But definitely load bearing. Load bearing is important. So squats and things like that are totally fine. Tobias, Papa Swolio, what is a good height for your feet when doing incline push-ups? The exact measurement? You don't need that much. The problem when people do incline push-ups, you mean putting your feet up, so it's kind of, it ends up being like an incline press. I would recommend, I love doing it with push-up handles angled forward slightly because it gets you more in the bar path of the chest activation, like lowering it lower, like under your chest towards like your upper abs and then pushing up. So that bar path is much better. You're not going straight up and down for push-ups if you really want to maximize the chest. You want your arms to go kind of down. So it's like a sweeping motion. So a good height, a lot of people put their feet up and then they drop their back and they're just doing a flat push-up with lumbar extension. So start low and make sure your back is flat. I would take a video, stomach in, glutes tight, posterior tilt, and make sure you're starting with like 6 or 12 inches. Start low. Most people overdo it and they try to go really high and they end up doing like, you're doing a push-up and like your fucking head's just touching. Like you're not going to get, if you're not using handles, it's going to compromise your depth. So if you're doing an incline push-up with your feet up and your head's going to touch the ground, that's why people drop their back, because they try to lift their head because their forehead's going to hit the ground. So you're limiting your range of motion. And then if you're dropping your waist, you're just doing a flat push-up. So get some handles so you can get some more depth, or blocks or things like that. But those push-up handles are awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Wild Shallot. Papa Swolio, does watching shredded physiques like Sebum and others motivate or keep working, or does the right opposite? I mean, I don't watch those physiques. I used to when I was trying to get really huge back in like 2002. I had, in college, I took out those the centerfold, like the center spreads from Flex magazine. I had all the fucking best bodybuilders in the world on my wall. When I was smashing, I was trying to get fucking huge. But I mean, yeah, it's inspiring, but it's not healthy. So I have a different approach to it. Like it's impressive. Most people don't realize how much work it takes. Of course, it takes a ton of fucking drugs, but still, to win those competitions, you need the symmetry. You need to do it right. A lot of people take steroids. They look like dog shit. Lacey, do you use any muscle rubs? Any negatives about them? I use Equiblock when needed. I've never even heard of that. The main ingredients are capsaicin and menthol. I don't think they do anything. I'm not convinced that they do anything. Aside from maybe phthalates or other ingredients that are in those, that's possible. If they have like fragrances and stuff like that, it can be detrimental. I'm not saying that yours does, but it might just confuse or misdirect your your feedback system. So it might make it feel less sore, but it's not really actually less sore. Yeah, it numbs the nerves. So it's like, I wouldn't do that personally. The reason why I think it depends. If you're in the middle of a competition, like you're doing strongman, strongwoman, like you're doing competition where and you need to feel good for the next, and you're already banged up. I like to feel the discomfort. I like to know when my muscles are sore. Like never take fuck ibuprofen, all those things. That's so bad for your gut. Aside from that, but I want to feel, if I'm sore, I want to know that I'm sore. Because if my soreness is lingering, it could be because I'm not recovering properly. Or if I recover efficiently, I want to know. I don't want to mask what my body is trying to tell me, because that's feedback. Generally back up. Papa Swolio, when I work my triceps, parentheses rows. That's not triceps. So I'm confused. Sometimes I feel my shoulders more than my triceps. Triceps rows? Uh-oh. How do I fix it? I would have to know which exercise are you talking about? Are you talking about rows? That's a back exercise. Although the long head of the triceps will help with shoulder extension. Not rows, but like the extensions to the back. You mean triceps extensions? Like down? You feel it in your shoulders? I would have to see how you're doing it. I really would have to see the form, because I couldn't tell you why you feel it. You shouldn't feel it in your shoulders, that's for sure. Saying zero, in your opinion, is Sebum or Seth Feroci good fitness role models? I can't help but like those guys. I don't really know what they say. I know who they both are. Seth, I've seen some of his stuff now and again, but I don't really know the depth or like what his takes are on certain things. I can't help but like those guys. Charismatic people, it's okay to like someone. Doesn't mean you have to agree with, you can like someone, but not agree with like their training methods. Like you can like David Goggins, be like, oh man, that guy's a beast. Don't do what he does, So you can like someone and not, emulate them or copy them, for example. I mean, are those guys a net positive or negative for fitness? When it comes to that kind of stuff, like, all right, do you think this is a net positive or a net negative for the fitness? This country is so fucking fat and goddamn lazy. I don't think you could possibly have a net negative. If someone's getting someone into the fucking gym, even if they're not eating, the way we all talk about eating and people are just the first, that's why I say go to the fucking gym. That's why all my content is like, go to the fucking gym and be like, you should cut out vegetable oils. I'll say that stuff too. Like, you should get out processed sugar. Look, crackheads are going to be crackheads. The hardest thing to get someone to do is to change their lifestyle habits, especially when everything, like, it's not the first step. It's not the first step. That's not going to be attracting people to a message like, oh, I am eating garbage. They know they're eating garbage. They're addicted to the garbage. They blocked it out of their mind of how bad their choices are. That's not going to get people step one. It's like, go to the fucking gym. Like, walk into the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. And then if you don't want to waste your time going to the fucking gym, let's focus on these other areas too. So it's got to be a simple, straightforward message that's going to break through. Like, hey, you fat fuck, go to the fucking gym. Oh man, that guy caught me off guard. And then they'll see the other content eventually. And then, maybe go that next level. But I think getting people into the gym is a great thing, but this kind of lean towards kids jumping on gear and stuff too young, it's a problem. Keith, you're obsessed with this testosterone thing. Why? I had a conversation about how grass-fed beef helps with testosterone. I mean, I don't know if it does. Taking care of your health is good for your testosterone. Some may say no. My experience is it definitely does. Sleep is just as or more important. Thoughts? Fucking get some sleep and eat some grass-fed beef. What's your obsession with testosterone? Like, if you take good care of your health, your testosterone is going to be fine. Like, you grass-fed beef, my testosterone increases. I mean, fucking get some sleep and like do both. My thoughts? Fucking take care of yourself. Follow the 7 pillars. Your testosterone will do better. Do cold plunge. Do sauna. Go lift some fucking weights. Go to the fucking gym. Let's fucking go. You're not going to know unless you're doing like obsessive, controlled trial study blood work while you're doing these things to see. It's a very complicated thing. The endocrine system is much more complicated. Like, oh, this makes it go up. This makes it go down. It's a complicated system. And the fact that people act like we know everything how the human body works, we fucking don't. We don't. We don't know anywhere near as much as people think that we know. People think we have it all figured out. Like, oh, this is that, and this is that. It's fucking like people still count calories and eat shit foods. But oh, it fits my macros. People still mainstream talk about that shit. People mainstream, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, still mainstream talk about calorie counting as if the food quality doesn't fucking matter. Mainstream professionals, nutritionists, dietitians, personal trainers, they're fundamentally not understand. They don't understand. Or it's easier to sell their training or protocols or people to like their videos or like them if they put their arm around them. It's like, oh, you can do what you want. Just do a calorie deficit. Fuck your calorie deficit. Stop eating 100-calorie cookies and thinking that you're taking care of your health. So a lot of it's bullshit. Okay. Saying Seth is a good conservative. He's a good conservative. He uses logic and common sense as a huge advocate for working hard and being a good person, but says fuck a lot. Well, sounds like he's my fucking kind of guy. He says fuck a lot. So do I. Papa Swolio, when doing Bulgarian split squats, what height should your rear foot be at? I've heard it doesn't need to be more than 6 inches off the ground, but I see most people doing it off a bench. It's because most people, 1, don't know how to do anything properly. Number 2, the bench is at the gym, so people just put their foot up on whatever they have. And 3, yes, your foot shouldn't be that high off the ground. So it doesn't need to be more than like 6, 12 inches, maybe depending on if you have your front foot elevated to do more quad focused. You don't need a super high elevation for Bulgarians. It's really a single leg squat. You're just trying to take the back leg out of the picture. The reason is if you put your leg too high, most people don't have the hip mobility to execute it properly. If you have a lot of hip mobility, you probably could put a little bit higher and get away with it. But a lot of people put their back leg up really high, and that you're in excessive like hip extension, so your lower back is arching. So you have to really arch to stay more upright or to lean forward, and it puts a lot more pressure on your other hip because your other hip's going into flexion. So you can have one hip in extension, one hip in flexion, but how many people can do a fucking split like that? Not many. Most people are tight as fuck. They're tighter than a goddamn nun. So, you know, you have to keep that in mind. And so true boggles my mind. Majority of fitness YouTubers still promote calories in, calories out because it's easy for an idiot to understand, like, oh, calorie counting. It doesn't work well for most people. You can count all the calories you want. When you isolate what foods work best for your body, then you count calories and it will fucking work even better if you want to obsess like that. But food quality will take care of it. Take care of it. All right. I think we're good. Last comment here. Dan, Papa Swolio was at a barbecue yesterday and received some compliments for how I look. I told him about you and the 7 pillars. Hopefully you'll be getting some new members to the Swole fam soon. Maybe. I'm not going to hold my breath. If you met people at a barbecue yesterday, chances are it's like meeting someone at a bar. Oh my God, you look great, man. Everyone's drinking like, oh, Papa Swolio, like, oh, sweet. What's his website? Yeah, they're taking shots. Yeah. They're not going to join. It's too real for them. I hope so. That'd be awesome. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Not the best location to meet people at a barbecue. It sounds good, right? A barbecue sounds good, like Papa Swolio, a barbecue. But we all know what a barbecue means. Everyone's drinking. Everyone's drinking soda. There's tons of chips and crap. And then there's some some hot dogs and low quality shit. If you actually had a barbecue and you had like fucking steaks on the grill, like real fucking food. Now we're talking. But most people, the term barbecue is just, hey, we're going to eat junk outside in the sun. We're going to go to the movies, aka we're going to eat junk looking at a big screen. Hey, we're going to go watch the fight, aka eating junk watching the fight. Like, that's all it is. Hey, it's football. It's Monday night football or Sunday, whatever, or college football Saturday, whatever the fuck it is. Eating shit while watching that. It's all these things are. It's just like, hey, where can we stuff our faces and try not to feel guilty about it? How many different ways can we make an excuse to stuff our faces with shit while doing something? That's all it is. Oh, it's my birthday, so I'll stuff my face with all this crap because I was born on this calendar date like 30, 40 years ago. Another excuse to eat shit. Fuck yeah. You like that? You like that? Did I just shit in your fucking cereal? You're shitting your fucking cornflakes? Good. You shouldn't be eating cornflakes anyway. Let's go, baby.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Fucking facts, though. Fucking facts. All right. Oh, shit. We're done. We're good. Last one. Aura the cat. 1, 2, 3. Papa Swolio, do you have any suggestions on good leg stretches and workouts for before or after bike riding? Oh, yeah. I mean, activate your hip flexors, hamstrings, yoga. It's a very general question, but yeah, I would recommend doing a lot of those activation exercises first. And then, of course, afterwards, yoga is fantastic. Especially if you're riding a bike, it's a terrible position for the human body. People that want to get in shape, please. I know sometimes you like to ride a bike casually, but for exercise, it compounds all the terrible postural problems we have in our country. So people have tight hip flexors and weak hip flexors and really tight hamstrings, and they're hunched over and they have a lot of excessive, kyphosis, like rounding in the upper back. And then you get on a bike and you actively keep that hip really fucking tight and tighten up the calves because you're constantly in knee flexion. And, you got to balance that out. So if you're trying to get in better shape and condition, lift weights, yoga, mobility, and then use those kind of activities as like enjoyment or like a seasoning or spice on top of that. Because it just really compounds terrible postural distortions. Okay, fucking cereal eaters. Facts. All right, Red, White, and Swole. Let's fucking give away today's Swole card. This is a good question. The ab wheels are good too. Ab wheels. All right, let's give this card away. Red, White, and Swole. we got a winner, and I think it's very convenient that your avatar fits Keith Parker, you slut. Congratulations. Look at you, Keith. You know what, Keith? Maybe the Swole card will raise your testosterone. I think it shall. Methinks so.
He's on fire! Inconceivable!
Congratulations, Keith. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2277 in the subject, your mailing address in the bio, the email. Fam, great questions today. Great feedback. I love it. I love it, and I hope I gave you some more insights. Of course, these answers are my experience, my opinions, mixed in with my expertise. And I really encourage you when it comes to nutrition that you start getting more involved with the 7 pillars, the elimination diet, and you start narrowing this shit down, because it's so important to recognize where these weak points are, or the potential weak points are in what you're doing. And bringing up those weak points will help you get stronger all over the place. And do not underestimate, I will remind you, do not underestimate how much an impact going to the fundamentals and working on just the basic 7 pillars. So getting back to what Keith was saying about testosterone, all these different little individual questions. That's why the 7 pillars are so important. Do not underestimate the benefits of getting better sleep every night. You want to get rid of extra body fat? Then you better be fucking focusing 110,000% on your sleep. That will metabolize more fat. That will maintain more muscle mass. Period. End of fucking story. Better hydration, better electrolyte balance, better habits, better execution of all these different things, the fundamentals, focusing on the fundamentals, building those habits and refining them over time. Anytime you feel lost, anytime, I'm telling you, fam, anytime you feel lost, anytime you feel stressed, anytime you feel like shit's not going your way, go back to the fundamentals, go back to the pillars, make sure, like, where could I be doing things better? Where can I fill in these gaps? How could I improve? And I'm quite certain that you're going to find, you have to be humble, and you have to look at yourself in the mirror and recognize when you are fucking your shit up and when you're holding yourself back. So congratulations, Keith, crushing it. Send us that email. Your balls just got bigger. My God, I wouldn't doubt it, bro.
Because
I wouldn't doubt it. Enjoy that enjoy that free testosterone that was just injected electronically into your fucking scrotum. That's fantastic. Fam, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, you beaches. Do not forget about that. Don't forget. Let me make that smaller. All right, tomorrow, Monday, August 1st, 12 noon Eastern time. Look at that Tessie in the corner. That's fantastic. That's just fabulous. 12 noon Eastern time for members. If you're not a member, join now. SwoleNormousX.com. We'll see you for the live call. Live call, 12 noon Eastern time. Live call, beaches. And there's a tainty man. Aww. Oh my God. Everyone's looking so cute. 12 noon tomorrow, sluts.
Boom shakalaka! Emotional, damn it!
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
There's tiny tuck, typical tuck, total tuck, and the tyrannical tuck.
Oh, the man cast coming to a close. Congratulations, Keith. Keep making those gains, fam. Keep making those gains. A little diversity. I believe that's an old wooden ship used in the Civil War era.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War
Told
era.
you. I told you. Oh, Pinkston Churchill. Hi, Church. Oh, she's sleepy. There's a little taint. Look at that taint. Oh, look at that taint. Wanna come to Daddy? Daddy's finishing the show. Got the church perch going on over here.
Loud noises!
Fucking nailed it. He's on fire. That's right, Bert. It's the closing nut ceremony. You can't tell? Look at the nut. We're gonna close that shit up. Oh, a little taint there. Nice. Little taint. Hey, baby girl. You want to go outside? We'll go outside. Piano cock first. I was going to say, I don't make the rules, but I do. I do make the fucking rules. I do.
I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you.
Fam, smells good. Smells like sick fucking gains in here. I can smell it through the actual screen. I feel it. I feel like you're going to go make sick fucking gains today. Methinks you are going to go crush it, and I hope you do. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll see you inside the Swole Fam Telegram chat. If you're not yet a member, now's the time to join SwoleNormousX.com. Tomorrow we have our meeting at 12 noon Eastern Time live call. So episode 2278 will be private, and we'll give away a mystery Swole card to a Swole Fam member tomorrow, as we do every single week. So be there, and it'll be awesome. We'll have members coming up on stage, having a conversation, and of course, asking questions in the live chat. It's going to be a fun time. New releases inside X. It's going to be awesome. See you there, 12 noon Eastern Time. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in a fanny pack, couple hundred in a Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element.